Well, guys, welcome to our shack.
The 4-star hotel.
4-star hotel.
Near the Oregon coast.
We're just out here on the side of the road. Inside
Literally.
a little, literally.
The white line's
like a foot behind
right
me.
there.
Like I'm sitting on the side of the highway. The road's to our back and the river's to our front. We're out here striper fishing. If you guys have seen any of our previous nighttime striper fishing episodes, we often sit right on the edge of a drop off in the river that is right on the edge of the highway, and that's where we are tonight. And so right in front of us is just kind of a small embankment down to a nice long deep section of the river where it flows down into the bay, and then right behind us is the highway, and every now and then a car goes by and it just rattles our whole little booth. Yeah.
These are the things that you get to see when you're out fishing.
We don't usually share river locations too often. Freaking cold out. It's freezing. It's in the 30s.
Yeah, it's supposed to freeze tonight.
It's supposed to freeze tonight, and we got a little fire going over there, and some of that warm air is kicking back our direction into our little easy up zone. But
yeah, we'll give you guys a tour in a second of our little shanty.
Yeah, we're really just waiting to have a fish smash a line or hear a little action out there. Maybe go down and throw some plugs if we hear some action. It's only like 6 o'clock or something like that. It's really pretty early, and low tide's at like 7, so I'm thinking from like 7 until high tide, which is at like 1 a.m. and it takes a little while for the tide to get high here because we're up from the bay a little bit. So I'm thinking from around 7, 8 o'clock or something like that, all the way until like 3 a.m. is when it's going to be primo fishing. So we're just kind of hanging out, waiting for it to get going. We got some sausages.
I think we got some friends coming out, yeah?
We might have some friends coming out here in a minute. Yeah, I think at least a couple of buddies are going to come join us.
Yeah, we're going to be here all night.
And I'm going to whip up this soup, and we'll hop back in with you guys if anything fun happens. We'll definitely show you guys some fish. And here's a little action from us running around today, catching salmon and stuff. It was kind of fun. Like, here's one of my fish.
And here's a car. It was a little tiny car.
Right over there, off of a wrap-in line. Oh, it's super bright red. It's definitely an old coho. Fluorescent. That is a beautiful fish, dude. Oh my god. Come here, come here. Oh man, I don't want to get beat up on rocks. Look how gorgeous this buck coho salmon is right here. What a big, beautiful beast of a fish. That red is just unreal. He's not too stoked to be out of the water, so we're gonna go ahead and get him back in real quick, but what an awesome fire truck of a boot of a salmon, right? Look at that. Hi, buddy. Woohoo! We got a fire going and we're making some food. Sadie roasted off an herb rubbed chicken the other night and gave me the carcass to throw into this pot of soup. So we're gonna make a pot of soup and sit here and eat some chicken mushroom soup while the cold air blows and try to get into a fish. But within a couple of hours, I think the fishing will get good. So, you know.
If not, we're fishing again in the morning.
Yep. If not, we're fishing again in the morning.
Well, we're fishing again in the morning, even if it does crack off.
Yep.
But like you said, it's gonna freeze tonight.
If and or,
it's gonna happen. I can feel it. It's feeling really fishy out, except for this little breeze going on right now.
Yeah, it's good and chilly, and like right when it settles a little bit, and you're like, ooh, the warmth is coming in, and it's starting to fill the little zone, and all of a sudden, just comes by, and just a gust of air goes through, and just takes all the heat with it. So, this isn't usually a very busy road, but it is tonight.
Well, we got rods in the water right now, bells are on, so you guys will probably be able to hear the bell ring just as good as we can. So if you guys hear that bell and we're sleeping or something, let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
We got, you can't see it yet, but we got cars on either side, sleeping quarters, and yeah, it's a lot cozier. It actually looks pretty cozy in the screen right now. But it looks like we're in Asher's garage or something.
Yeah. Tarp on the wall.
It's just a matter of time. It's only getting primo right now.
It's actually really funny. What I didn't notice is that we're sitting here and we've got this little flat top to go on the fire when we're gonna cook, and some donuts because we wanted like some snacks. So that kind of like makes sense. And there's a headlamp there. It's nighttime. We're sitting out here. But why is there just a bottle of heavy cream just sitting in between us here on the table? It's gonna go into some of the food we're making, and I just pulled it out as I was shuffling things. But something about it is kind of funny that just like sitting right there. There's a bottle of heavy whipping cream. Yeah, we call this BDSM cream.
Probably whipped cream.
Heavy whipping cream. So what's up, guys? I'm gonna put this chicken soup together. Sadie recently roasted a bird for the channel, and I have the carcass of that bird, and it was just covered in like fresh herbs and some butter and all that good charred roasting flavor. And so I just threw that into a pot with a little bit of water and a little bit of oil to start, and it's all boiling down and just creating a really creamy, beautiful chicken broth. So I think that I'm gonna go ahead and pull that in a minute. What's burning?
Probably the bread up here.
Okay. I'm making sure it's not my chicken broth.
Could be that too. I'll stir it.
Yeah, go ahead and give it a stir. I don't think it is. I think it's something else. But yeah. So I think the plan with that soup is going to be to make a little bit of a roux to thicken it up and give it like a light chowderiness to it. I don't want it to be real thick like a real chowder, but just a little bit thicker than like a brothy soup. And then I've got a huge pile of chanterelles. We've been picking so many chanterelle mushrooms lately that I'm just trying to figure out what to put them in. I'm putting them in everything. I've been drying them. I'm making pate, and so might as well fill this soup with them also. So I think chicken mushroom soup sounds pretty good, but I think it's going to come together and be really bomb. And then we have a nice big baguette to just dip into it, because on a cold night on the side of the river, there's nothing better than a hot bowl of soup and some bread to dip it in. So I'm just going to take these chanterelles and I'm just cutting them up into small Super Bowl size pieces, and I'm not even doing anything uniform or special for this rustic soup. I kind of like random ununiform cuts. You just get all kinds of little pieces of mushrooms scattered around in the bottom of your soup. The more I'm not cooking with restrictions of a fine dining establishment or a catering project, the more I like to do things a little bit not so specific, because of all the years of doing things specific. Part of also why I'm cutting this so precariously and doing these chops all weird is because this is just sitting on a bowl, so I'm not like actually chopping, I'm just kind of cutting away at stuff, but it's working for me, so judge me not. All right, you guys, look at how awesome this stock looks. Just so rich and creamy and full of chicken. I am really looking forward to that. So what I want to do is just create a little bit of a surface that I can just set my pan straight on, something like that, so I can cook down these onions. I don't want to lose temp of my soup, so I want to find a nice little safe place for my soup to sit right there. I mean, not the onions, sorry, cook down these chanterelles. Chanterelles have a lot of liquid in them, and we want some of this liquid to cook out of the chanterelles while they're over this heat, and that's going to give them something to kind of saute in a little bit, and it's going to cause them to break down some of their fibers a little bit, which you want to do. Cause them to get a kind of a smooth, almost kind of melt away into your soup. And now we're just going to add the rest of this roasted garlic I have. I roasted this garlic the other night, and it's really nice and soft and just crushes apart. And we're going to add all of that into those chanterelles, and we're going to mix and mash those around there a little bit. Our soup over here is still really very rich, and you can see big chunks of chicken and of chicken fat floating all through here. So I'm going to do my best to get rid of as much of these bones as I can. I was going to strain this whole pot, but I don't think I'm going to be able to pull off straining the pot just because I don't have all the stuff here. So I'm just going to dig through, pull out as many of the bones as I can, try to get all those little tiny little bones, pin bones and stuff. So it's going to be a tedious process, but I think it's going to be the best way for me to get the bones out of this pot without having to strain and lose all of that fat meat, and I want all that fat meat. And now look at how much liquid is in here. I put a little bit of oil in, but clearly I didn't put that much oil in. All of that juice coming out, that's just the natural water that was inside the chanterelles, and it is an amazing mushroom broth. The flavor inside that is going to be really, really strong and juicy and delicious in a soup, you know, in almost anything. But if you're going to add it to the base of your soup, it's definitely going to give depth and some structure to the base flavor in there. When you taste the soup, you're definitely going to taste mushroom and chicken right off the bat for sure. And to cut some of that mushroom and chicken flavor, we're going to add a little bit of flour and butter and make a roux. And then we're also going to add some heavy cream. Okay, you guys, so I just fast forwarded it. I just fast forwarded it a little bit in our project, and we were just getting to pick our bones out of our chicken stock and sauteing down our mushrooms process. So I didn't film me picking the bones out. I just took them and set them in a pot, pulled the bones, took a little, but I did. Took a little spoon and went through there and pulled all the bones and stuff like that. So I didn't film pulling the bones out, but I removed them. Then I made a little quick roux out of some oil and some flour and a little bit of the broth that I was already cooking off. And I just added that to the main pot of the chicken soup so that it would kind of thicken the whole creaminess up a little bit. Now I'm gonna add these chanterelles, which have been sauteed down with a little bit of that roasted garlic oil and that roasted garlic, and then just a little bit of salt. And I think that when they all mix together, it's gonna balance out really nicely, and hopefully we're eating soup here in a minute. All right, you guys, we've got all of our chanterelle all mixed together and sauteed right here. You can see it's quite a pile of mixed down chanterelles and caramelized garlic in there. It's gonna be fire. And we're just gonna put this all right on top of our soup. Ho ho ho, baby. Look at how pretty this soup is. Just creamy chicken, chanterelle, roasted garlic. It looks really, really fire. I'm gonna taste some in just a second, and then we're gonna let it cook down a little bit and have those flavors just really kind of all bind together and bounce off of each other. Some of the flavors in here are gonna kind of blend and mash together. We're gonna maybe let it reduce just a tiny bit so the liquid kind of thickens up a little bit and our roux cooks into the rest of the soup. And after it sits for a little bit, we'll probably throw a little bread on to toast and then get down.
All right, fresh baits on the rods, fresh firewood on that fire. This thing's propane, so it's going strong. And we got ourselves some fire soup. We're digging in. So there's no action yet on any of the rods, but I really wanted to point out this really awesome piece that my wife got for her birthday, which is this propane fireplace that is like so magical in the morning for winter steelhead or salmon or late night striper fishing. And it's 35 degrees out. This thing's just crushing it right now. And I'm pretty sure that it could go at least 24 hours on that tank. It might even be 2 days. I'm not too sure. We're gonna test it out here. But I mean, look at the flame that thing's putting off. This thing also goes with the fire restrictions that we have throughout the summers. You know, not always. Sometimes when it's extreme, you can't use it. But in most cases you can. When they can't have fires and fire pits, you can still rock this propane badass. Yeah, invest. I'll put a link down below in the description just for the heck of it. This thing is going to make our winter fishing season next level.
So much
next level. So other than the fishing, we're basically crushing it right now. Out here it's cold and dark, but in here,
damn, that would be lame if we're losing power right now.
oh no, we are. Anyway, we're kind of crushing it. We might be losing power. We still got a fire there and a fire here, and he's cooking. And damn it. Should we just jump me in the morning and take my car battery out? I mean, out here, it is cold and dark, and nobody wants to hang out there. But in here, it's like a party. We got a fire going on in the middle. Ashley's over here cooking. We got a fire out here that we're gonna add to. We're cooking on it right now, but we're gonna add to it in a minute, so we're gonna have double fires going. But man, other than the fishing, it can't get much better than this. Look at that moon. Bam!
So why don't you guys check out this footage from the other night. I came down here and did some striper fishing, and I got a cool fish, and I got some footage of me catching the fish, and then my buddy came and joined me, helped me net up the fish. He caught a fish also, but I didn't really film the rest of an episode. I was just kind of down here. It was nighttime, so I filmed that, and we might as well just clip it in right now because we're out here striper fishing at night. So bam, I'm catching a fish. Bam. You guys, I got a bell. There it is. Sweet. I had the bell all tangled up in my gear. Super obnoxious, but it's free. I still got the fish on. Stoked that you're here with the net right when it happened.
Yeah, I was thinking before I left too. I was like,
whoa, he came in weird.
he did.
Yeah!
Dude, yes. That's about the size I got the other night.
Nice.
On my SSD, yeah.
Awesome, so stoked.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah, I got a fish. I don't know if I missed that whole fight on cam. Might have got some of it on the GoPro, but I just smashed up a nice, beautiful striper. Let's get in here and check him out. I got some jaws here. Whoa. Get him, but not the net.
Yeah, those things, they tear your fingers up, or your thumbs, you know?
Yeah, I'm always getting my thumbs torn up by fish.
Yeah, you can see my thumbs, look at that. That's from the other night.
From the other night.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Heck yeah, man.
Stoked on that right there.
Dang. Oh, nice.
I've been sitting down here for a couple of hours now fishing, and I was hoping to get into a fish, but been kind of slow, just hanging out, organizing some of my tackle. I was talking with Steve, I knew he was gonna come down, and right when he pulled up, my rod went off, got myself into a beautiful, I don't know, 7-8 pound fish, something like that. It's probably 8 pounds. Yeah. That's a good sized fish right there. I got a scale even. We'll break out the scale and we'll find out exactly what it weighs. But yeah, good little skunk shaker right there.
Heck yeah,
I'm super
man.
stoked on that. I'm glad that he had a net, you know. Shout out with the perfect timing, buzzer beater on the net pull up. I got a little gaff hook over here somewhere, and I was gonna have to pull it out, and I probably would have just been soaking wet in the water landing this fish. But stoked. I'm gonna go ahead and put it out of its misery real quick, wipe it off, and I'll show it off to you guys up real close. So hold on for 1 minute. Look at this beautiful, awesome striper right here. Been fishing for a little bit tonight. Was a little bit worried I was gonna get skunked after trolling this morning, and then casting, and then bobber fishing, and then sitting here for a couple of hours. But got into a beautiful fish, hyped on this fish, and it's gonna be great fillets. I'm gonna throw it on ice right now and get more bait in the water. So, yoo-wee.
All right, guys, it's probably only like, I don't know, maybe like 8 o'clock. Oh, no, it's like 7, huh? I don't know, it's early. It feels late because this super awesome moon's popping up over here across the river. The traffic's died down. The wind is, I don't know, it was dying down, but I can't say that now. It's getting a little breezy. But things are looking up. The tide's a little low though. But as soon as it starts coming back up, that's when we think it's gonna be the money time. I got my dog cooking right here. Kind of looks done. Yeah, looking pretty good. So things are good. We're just waiting on them fish. As soon as they show up, things will really be good.
Oh yeah, I should be getting this.
Yeah, this is where all it's at right here.
So tell us what's going on right now, Chris.
All right, so it's getting cold outside. We are low on firewood. Me and Steve here are dragging firewood out. Asher's holding camera. And
yeah, Steve came down and joined us. You guys probably recognize him from netting up the striper video that I showed you guys earlier tonight. How about here's the striper Steve catch just a couple minutes later. So dude, tell us about the striper catch that just went down.
Oh my gosh.
all right.
Okay, so what are we doing?
So we're gathering firewood. We're getting low on firewood over there. It's getting cold.
It's freezing.
Yeah, it's freezing. At least for the coasty life over here. Yeah, we're just gathering firewood. There's not much to it. We're breaking wood. He's got a pile there. I got a pile over there.
These are decent piles. This gets us a little while. Let's drag this over.
We can come back for seconds if we need to.
Sweet.
It's gonna break pretty easy.
Go get a blazer going. We'll try not to light the pop-up on fire.
Yeah, you guys carry all those logs over, and I'll keep filming you.
I'll keep the camera running. Our shanty looks pretty sweet.
Oh my god, a big raging fire is gonna feel so good.
I think I know who's breaking them.
Okay, I'll break them up. Fair enough. Yeah, just throw a few of those things on, and I'll come pick up some big logs and get them on in a second. So we want to get those little ones to burn up anyways and get a nice good little fire going. Bam. Damn, look at this beast of a... Like it's like you found Wicker Man in the woods or something, dude.
Yeah, it's actually just a little branch sticking out. Hold on it, and this thing came popping out with a bunch of leaves.
Let's throw it right on the fire. maybe low tide still, like this is not bad at all.
So let me bring you guys up to speed. We just had a bell go off. We were just sitting in our little warm hut. Damn, that thing looks
I
sweet.
haven't changed the bait on this in like an hour.
Yeah, because we got this crazy low tide going on where we were like, we don't really want to pull it up over the mud, but maybe it is. Maybe there's a little trough in there. Something just happened to Asher's bait. The bell went off. Nothing's going on right now. But
I bet you that my fish was so light sitting on there that it's just gone.
right, because it's all thawed and
Oh.
oh, hang on.
Dude, I got a nice hit right there, dude.
Is it on? Is that a trout?
Trout? Is it a salmon? No,
That's a cutty, bro.
Yeah.
Holy. Like a wannabe steelhead? Let me see
Nice
those. Let me see
catch,
those
though.
gills.
I don't know if this fish
might
is going
be.
to survive now, but
Yeah.
dude,
It's a steelhead.
it's a steelhead.
No way.
Well, I want to try to get this back in the water, right?
lengthwise,
Sure, yeah.
I think it's still
A trout. And down here, I can't keep it. Oh, I can't keep a native trout
No.
down here, right? No. Okay. Well, let's try to save this fish. I don't know if this fish is going to be able to get saved. Because like, what? How am I going to get?
Beautiful
How am I
fish.
going to?
I mean, see how soupy it is right there. That's crazy, dude.
A little nighttime steelhead in the mud. What am I doing? What do I do, guys?
See how far you can go before you're too deep and sketchy.
I can throw it from here and hopefully live.
Don't sink. I was gonna say that's as far as you go.
Takes off, huh?
Yeah. Just like that. Hell yeah. I see him.
Well, I wish now we had gotten better footage of that because that fish didn't get handled very properly.
We all saw it. It was like a 22-inch steelhead trout.
So that was totally crazy, you guys. I've never caught a steelhead like that. I was fishing with a chunk of sardine head on the bottom and night fishing like this. You're not allowed to legally target salmon, steelhead, and trout at night, so I've never really done it much. I'm sure they're out there. I know in Alaska they fish for trout in the middle of the night a lot and stuff, so I'm sure there's a decent trout fishery at night. Ooh, the fish are splashing right back there. But that little steelhead was something I definitely did not expect to catch on a chunk of bait on the bottom in the middle of the night like that. Whoa. The whole point of this trip was to come out and do some steelhead fishing, and we spent most of the day trying to get into chrome and didn't catch any chrome. Caught like a bunch of salmon, which was fun, you know. I love catching salmon. And then we're down here tonight just hanging out, camping, so we can do some more salmon fishing tomorrow, and figure we might as well camp right on the river so we can striper fish all night. And I kind of thought it would be a pike minnow or like a little chub or a catfish or something, and when it pulled up on the bank, the last thing I thought it was, for a quick second I did actually, one of the first things I thought it was a steelhead, and then I like almost as if the thought was idiotic, was like, oh, it's not a steelhead, it's definitely going to be like a little coho salmon or a sea run cutthroat or something like that. And then it was a little steelhead, which was crazy. I pulled back its gills a little bit and looked, and there was no cutthroat marks, and it had a different color. It had a real classic steelheady rainbow trout look to it. Most of the fish that we're gonna catch right now here, we're either gonna keep and eat, or we're gonna kill and use for bait. But I like to handle steelhead with a lot of care. I like to take a beautiful native steelhead and pull it out of the water, put it back into the water as quickly as possible, make sure that it's released unharmed, and that I can get back out there and do life. It's kind of hard to show you guys right now, but there's like 8 feet of like knee-deep soft mud in between The tidal mud, yeah, in between where we're hanging out and fishing right here, this rock wall. I didn't want to just turn and walk out into that mud, sink down into it, get stuck, not release the fish. The fish had kind of got drugged through a little bit of mud on its way in already, and so it was a little bit dirty and a little bit beat up, and I was like, is this fish just gonna die? And I kind of, you know, was frozen up for a quick second, but I looked at the boys, I was all, what do I do? And they were like, all right, we don't know what to do, man. Figure the situation out, bro. Like, be an adult. So I looked at the mud and I decided that me getting muddy was, you know, not as big of a deal as saving this fish's life. So I just went down in there, managed to not get too deep into the mud. I'm wearing my waders still. So even if I went like, you know, knee deep in, I'm just gonna cover the boots. I have boots on the outside. Just cover my boots and fill my boots with mud, and I have to deal with it all in the morning and stuff, and it would have been gross. But I managed to find a log, kind of scurried down this little piece of hardwood. Anyways, super fun to put away my first winter steelhead of the season. In the weirdest way possible, yeah, and I'm glad that the fish was safely returned to the water and got released. It got beat up a little bit. I feel bad. Sorry for the little mud on your face and your gills, bud, and for the extra stress time holding you out of the water. For a second there, I almost ate you, and I'm glad that I didn't, and that you're back out there doing your thing. So, yeah, the reality is that if you're gonna catch a fish that you're not allowed to keep, and the fish is gonna die on you anyways, what you're supposed to do, and what you should do, is put that fish back into the system and let the system eat that fish, let the natural shrimp and the crabs. A certain amount of biomass is allotted for all kinds of things. Humans get to eat a certain amount of it, and the fish get to keep their own amount of it, and all of that. But it's really hard to take a beautiful fish that you caught on the side of the river when you've been fishing hard all day, that you know is going to be delicious and is going to die anyways, and just throw it into the mud or throw it into the bushes or something like that. So it would have been hard to not fillet that fish and eat it if I wasn't able to release it, which was great, you know. And I think the spirit of the law is to cause people to not come out, catch fish they're not supposed to be catching, catch fish they're not supposed to be eating, and just take them all home. And, you know, if you're fishing in your backyard pond and you gut hook a bluegill that you were probably going to let go and you know it's going to die, you should probably just take it home and eat it, you know, or make sure that like the local birds get to. And I'm done. Down in the dirt. You know, hopefully we can't get into some more fish, and that wasn't the one fish of the night. If we don't catch anything else, then there was that little fish there, us playing around the fire and showing off some stripers from the past. Hopefully that's enough for you guys to not put a thumbs down on it and to give a thumbs up instead. Big ups. Thanks for watching the channel. Peace.